This machine, built in 1864, was designed to cut a spiral groove inside a barrel. This process of rifling dramatically improves the range and accuracy of weapons. The operator has inserted a 10-inch barrel blank and sets the machine in motion. As the flywheel turns, it transfers its motion to the crosshead, or tool carrier slide, which in turn moves the rack and pinion and tool holder in a spiral motion. Meanwhile, a finger attached to the carrier slide causes the barrel to rotate 1/6 of a turn after each pass of the scraper. A larger scale production version of this machine could complete the rifling of one barrel in about 30 minutes, as opposed to the 150 hours of skilled hand labor previously required to produce the same result. This machine, like all the others, is powered by overhead shafts, belts, and clutches that are linked with long leather belts. This machine turned the gun barrel into a perfectly conical tapered piece. The operator advances the metal cutting chisel against the skelp or barrel by turning the brass handle on the carriage. This enables the cutting chisel to begin paring or cutting the metal. Bit by bit, the well-lubricated blade removes a tiny portion of the metal surface with each turn. Next, the carriage longitudinal feed-in gear is set, allowing the chisel to move left or right, thus paring the barrel to the desired conical form. When the paring operation is complete, the barrel would be sent to the rifling and breech plug tapping machines. The last step grinds off the lathe chisel marks. This machine saved a great deal of skilled hand labor and could produce a more consistent product in a shorter time. This machine was designed by Levi Lincoln in 1848 to file parts of weapons into their final form. The overhead belt rotates the chisel that shapes the part. It was a tremendous improvement over the laborious task of hand filing. This workhorse of the armory could outperform 10 hand filers and do a much more consistent job. In 1861, two of Levi Lincoln's foundry foremen set up their own business to manufacture Lincoln milling machines. The enterprise that they established has since evolved into the Pratt & Whitney Company, which now manufactures jet engines, among other things. This machine was built in 1858 for the stock shop at the Enfield Armory. It was designed to turn the butt end of the gun stock from a rough form to a nearly finished state. The operator inserts the wooden blank into the bearing and drive assemblies. He then clamps the stock into fixtures that ensure precise alignment. He then turns the machine on by shifting the overhead drive belts. As the small iron tracing wheel travels over the contours of the metal stock pattern, the cutting wheel makes identical motions into the blank wooden stock. Unwanted wood is removed with each pass of the chisel. Large pieces fly at first, with the chips becoming smaller and smaller as the work progresses. Notice how the rough grooves are smoothed with each pass, resulting in a finely honed piece. The operator changes to smaller radius tracing wheels and chisels as the stock takes its final shape. The cutter remains stationary while the stock moves left and right, much like a key-making machine. 18 machines are required to complete one stock. A rifle stock can be duplicated in about 9 minutes, as opposed to the 2 hours of hand labor that was originally required before Mr. Blanchard's invention. Machines like this are still used to cut irregular wooden shapes like spindles, clothespins, and baseball bats.